डॉक्टर बाबा साहेब आंबेडकर ओपन यूनिवर्सिटी।
Namaskar students, I, Dr. Jaini Shah from Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University welcome you all to the video lecture series of Bachelor of Arts in English Literature. Friends, this particular session is from SYBA paper number 3, History of English Literature, unit number 11, which is Augustan Age, its historical background and characteristics. This video lecture, students, will help you understand the period of Augustan age in English literature. It will also help you know the chief characteristics or peculiar features of the age which shaped the literature of that age. Friends, as we proceed further in this session, we shall discuss the objectives, introduction of Augustan age, its historical background, social development, literary features of the age, as well as major genres which emerged during that period. So friends, let us begin. Friends, as it has been discussed in the session on Puritan age, it is such that English literature, especially the British English literature, begins from the Old English period prior to Chaucer and continues to the present day. These centuries and years are divided into different periods. These periods or ages with different names, some of which you may be familiar with. For example, the Elizabethan age or the Renaissance age or the Romantic age or the modern age. All these ages or periods are named such because of their features. Now, the literature produced or written in these periods bear certain characteristics of that age, such as the ruling monarchy, historical background, social conditions, political and economic conditions, and the common idea, thought, feeling or emotion that prevails in that particular time period. So, on the basis of all these factors, English literature, majorly of Britain, is divided into various ages. Here you can see the chart which showcases the different ages in the history of English literature. It starts from 450 AD to continues to present day, that is from 5th century to 21st century. You can see the major and important ages in this chart, such as the age of Chaucer, the Elizabethan age, the Puritan age, the Restoration period, and in the highlighted fonts it is visible the Augustan age, which has the period from 1700 to 1745, followed by the Romantic period, the Victorian period, the modern period. So, this is the general time span of all the ages of English literature. Now friends, let me give you some introduction to the Augustan age. The Augustan age in English literature is also known as the age of Queen Anne or the neoclassical age or the age of Pope, as well as it is talked about as the literature of the 18th century. Each of these names look at the literature of this age from a different perspective, as mentioned before. Friends, the name Augustan comes from the ancient age when Augustus Caesar ruled the Roman Empire, who restored peace and prosperity to the Roman state and changed nearly every aspect of Roman life. But here in England, the word Augustan was utilized because this age is regarded as a golden age and the age of reason, which led to the creative flowering of literature. In this period, Queen Anne ruled England. It is the age which considered itself to be as great as the classical age, the age in which an important writer was Alexander Pope. The classical age from 1500 to 336 BC refers to the classical period of ancient Greece and was a time when the Greeks achieved new heights in art, architecture, theatre and philosophy. Whereas in British English literature, the neoclassical age covers the entire century, that is from the years 1700 to 1800, as it is often referred to as the 18th century. This 18th century or the neoclassical age is further divided into three periods: the Restoration period, the Augustan period and the age of Johnson. And yet, from a historical perspective, it is the period after the revolution of 1688 AD when major political and social developments took place and which get reflected in the literature of the Augustan age. The invention of the printing press, which led to the birth of the newspaper, is an important landmark in the literary development of the age. This age also saw the birth of the novel and the periodical essay as literary genres. So, having this overview of the age, let us proceed further. Friends, the historical backdrop of this age is such that the 18th century in England opens with the War of Spanish Succession. As Marlborough was a great military genius, the British remained on the victorious side. It gained two ports, two colonies and a valuable trade concession with the sole right of shipping slaves to the Spanish colonies. In the year 1707, the Act of Union was passed, which united England and Scotland to form the Great Britain. Further, Queen Anne died in 1714 and George I of Hanover ascended the throne as the ruler of England. He was followed by George II and George III. George III succeeded his grandfather in 1760. Having been taught to be a king in reality, he took into his own hands the patronage of the state and church. He began distributing royal favours himself, thus filling the House of Commons with mercenaries, often referred to as the king's friends. As he ruled for 20 years as an autocrat, there was considerable tension and strife between the ruler and the ruled. He succeeded also in flattening almost the Whig opposition. Friends, Whigs and Tories were two different parliamentary parties. So, Tories were on the winning side, they were triumphant. But this coincided with England's dispute with her American colonies. The War of American Independence, which lasted for 7 years, also brought with it the end of the King's, George III's, personal rule and the restoration of parliamentary democracy happened. It was during this period that other important events took place, like the French Revolution in 1789, the union of Ireland with Great Britain to form the United Kingdom, the rise of Napoleon and his later exile, as well as the restoration of the French monarchy. Outside the borders of England, Robert Clive in India, Cook in Australia and the islands of the Pacific were spreading the worldwide empire of the British UK. It is in this historical backdrop that one has to look at the society of that time. Now, let us have a view of social characteristics of Augustan age. The society that gave the 18th century England her tone and character was aristocratic. Political power seemed to be concentrated in the nobility. Bribing the voter was considered normal during elections. Both in the academic world and in the army, everything was available for a prize. The aristocracy gambled, drank deep and enjoyed their life to the fullest. They travelled to the cities of Europe and returned loaded with art treasures to embellish their magnificent houses. It almost seemed as if their culture was artificial. England was fighting France throughout the century, but on the contrary, England's literature and art was highly influenced by France and Italy too. French influence on English literature was a combination of both good and bad qualities. Because of the general political stability following the revolution, the 18th century in England was an era of peace and prosperity. Englishmen seemed to settle down to the business of peaceful and civilized living. The streets of London continued to be unsafe, but rioting, wailing, robbing, and other forms of barbarism seemed to decline as the century progressed. The privileged class attained a high level of education and culture, and now it was the nobility rather than the crown which patronized art and letters. Friends, further in this century, it can be noticed that the people of England learned the art of living together even when their opinions differed. In a single generation, nearly 2000 public coffee houses, each a center of social gathering, sprang up in London alone. Friends, coffee house was a place of gathering for the thinkers, intellectuals, writers, intelligentsia, etc. In addition to this, there were a number of private clubs opened too. This new social life contributed in great measure to the polishing of man's words and manners. Men sought to refine their manners according to the prevailing standards and to be elegant. Some point out that this was a kind of superficial elegance, though there still continued two opposing parties, Whigs and Tories. The divisions of church also happened. The growing social life presented an outward impression of peace and unity. The general tendency of the age was one of toleration, and this was helped in great measure by the spread of education. The rule of reason and common sense had done its work of enlightening and humanizing the 18th century. Also, friends, simultaneously schools were established, books and magazines multiplied until the press became the greatest visible power in England. Religiously, all the churches of England felt the tremendous spiritual revival known as Methodism. Now, let us proceed to see the literary characteristics of the Augustan age. Every age in literature shows the preponderance of one genre over the others. The Augustan age was undoubtedly the age of prose. Several social factors were responsible for this, and the spread of education and the advent of periodicals contributed in great measure towards this. A multitude of practical interests arising from the new social and political conditions demanded expression not merely in books but more specifically in pamphlets, magazines and newspapers. Poetry seemed inadequate for the task, and hence we can see the development of prose at an unpredictable pace. As a critic Long points out, the graceful elegance of Addison's essays, the terse vigor of Swift's satire, the artistic finish of Fielding's novels, the sonorous eloquence of Gibbon's history and of Burke's orations, these have no parallel in the poetry of the age. Friends, this clearly means that the prose in Augustan age was at the higher position than the poetry of Augustan age. One of the chief glories of this age is the variety and excellence of prose works and the development of a serviceable prose style. Friends, some characteristics of the previous age, like the tendency to realism in subject matter and the tendency to polish and refinement of expression, continued in the Augustan age, and it can be seen both in the poetry of Pope as well as in the prose of Addison. A third tendency that is seen in this age is the prevalence of satire, which was the result of the unfortunate union of politics and literature. The perpetual strife of the political parties led to every writer in the first half of the century being used or rewarded by either the Whigs party or the Tories party. This was done for satirizing their enemies or advancing their special political interests. Satire may have various purposes, but the most common one here in the Augustan age is that when a literary work searches out the faults of an individual or an institution to hold them up to ridicule or to satirize them. Many critics consider this a very negative kind of criticism. It may be argued that the satires of Pope, Swift and Addison are the best in the English language, but the fact remains that they are never placed along with the best of English literature because they are satires. Friends, the term classicism is often used to refer to the literature of the Augustan age. One of the reasons that the word was used was because of the unusual number of great works produced in this period. The word classic itself took on many meanings. In this age, the general tendency of writers was to look at life critically, to emphasize intellect rather than imagination. The form was important rather than the content. Writers strove to repress all emotion and enthusiasm and to use only precise and elegant methods of expression. Generally, this is what is meant by the classicism of this age. It refers to the critical, intellectual spirit of many writers, to the fine polish of their heroic couplets or the elegance of their prose. This should not be considered or interpreted as having any resemblance to true ideal classic literature. We could even say that this literature of this age was a pseudo classic, a period of false and sham classicism, as something which is not looked up as an ideal or classic. Now friends, let us have a look at the major literary genres of the Augustan age. Let us take up prose first. Friends, the whole of the 18th century is hailed as the age of prose, and this is noticeable from the beginning of the century. The age saw the establishment of the periodical essay and the beginnings of the prose fiction. The prose style of this period was used for a variety of purposes. For example, narration, description, exposition, speculation, argument, etc. Augustan age also witnessed writers who could use the plain style to expound their political, philosophical or theological doctrines. Then, if we have a glance at the poetry section, it can be understood that in many ways this age was a continuation of the previous age, and this is clearly seen in the poetry of Augustan age. Simultaneously, it is noticeable in the poetry of this age that an unconscious revolt from the classical ideal is portrayed. Romance seemed to be on the way, and some of the poets of the age became the precursors of the Romantic movement in the poetry of the 19th century. Next, friends, is the novel form. The novel, as we know it today, it was created and established in the middle of the 18th century. The novel was then seen as a long tale portraying characters and incidents from real life. The famous novelists of that time were Jonathan Swift, Joseph Addison, Richard Steele, Daniel Defoe, etc. Next up, friends, is the essay form. In addition to the novel, the essay was a great gift of this century. With the invention of the printing, the spread of education and the resultant increase in readership, the essay and in particular the periodical essay flourished. Many of the essayists also were professional men of letters and hence excelled in other forms of literature too. Towards the end of the century, modern magazines and reviews became very popular. Another literary form prevalent in Augustan age is letter writing. An unhurried age of peace and leisure provides the ideal atmosphere for letter writing as an art and literature, and this is provided by the bulk and the quality of the letters being produced in this century. The peace of the Augustans, as it is often referred to, contributed to aristocratic ladies and gentlemen filling their leisure time, pastime with writing for amusement. In addition to writing satirical verses, squibs, and essays for periodicals, they found writing along letters an additional pastime. Friends, the form of drama was also continued in a way that the Augustan age witnessed the decline of drama, but not of dramatic activity. Historians also continue to be puzzled by the decline of drama in the 18th century and its continued eclipse till the end of the 19th century. Only two dramatists succeeded in redeeming the drama of this age. Most talented writers chose the novel as their medium because it offered them a huger canvas and it did not hamper their style as stage conventions did in drama. However, this century did produce actors and actresses who were better known than the dramatists of Augustan age. So to conclude, friends, Augustan age is the prominent age in the history of English literature. In this session, you have learnt the historical, social, political and literary characteristics of the Augustan age, as well as the major changes that occurred in the society and their effects on the literature of this age. Friends, here are some of the questions to check your progress, self-assessment. Attempting answers of these questions which are based on this session will give you a clearer idea on the topic that you have learnt. Further, friends, here are some of the references which you can take up for further reading. The first one is a critical history of English literature in 2 volumes by David Deutsches. Second is a compendious history of English literature by R.D. Trivedi, as well as the third one, English literature by W.J. Long. And below are the links to the open sources available on the internet, which may be helpful references for further reading. So friends, thank you for watching the video. I hope it has helped you in understanding the Augustan age from the perspective of history of English literature. So friends, goodbye and see you around next time. Thank you.